There comes a moment in every person's life when they stand alone with their thoughts. No applause, no spotlight, no audience, just the quiet echo of their own choices. And it's in that silence that the truth speaks, softly at first, then louder, reminding you that your greatest enemy was never the competition, never the critics, never even circumstance. Your greatest enemy was the weakness within you, the habits you ignored, the promises you broke, the little excuses that seemed harmless until they became your cage. But here's the miracle. That same mind that built the prison also holds the key. This is the story of how you take back the key. How you destroy weak habits before they destroy you. How you win the only battle that truly matters. The battle within. The invisible war. The battlefield of life isn't made of dirt and stone. It's made of thought and belief. Every action is first a whisper in the mind. Every failure, every success, both born from the same soil. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. And those habits are not formed in the gym or the office or the marketplace. They're formed in the quiet, in the places nobody sees. Most people lose before the day begins. They wake up defeated, not because life is cruel, but because their mind was never trained for the fight. They let the weeds grow and then wonder why the harvest is empty. But let me tell you something. The weeds don't ask permission. Neglect is their invitation, and if you don't take charge of your mind, someone else will. The world will. The news will. The gossip will. The fear will. The question is not whether your mind will be planted. It's who will do the planting. The seeds of destruction. Let's begin with something simple. Every result in your life is a reflection of a habit. And every habit is a reflection of a thought repeated until it became belief. Weak habits begin quietly. They whisper. They don't announce destruction. They suggest comfort. Just one more hour of sleep. Just one more day of delay. Just one more time, it won't matter. But weak habits don't stay weak. They grow roots. They grow chains. And before you know it, they've rewritten your story. I've seen it 1,000 times. A man says, I'll start next month. Then it's next year. Then it's someday. And someday never shows up. You see, neglect starts as a visitor, but if you entertain it long enough, it becomes the landlord. And if you want to turn your life around, you must evict it. You must look your habit square in the face and say, no more. Because every moment you tolerate weakness, you're teaching your mind to settle. The weeds grow fast, but so do the flowers if you water them. The moment of choice. The miracle of life is that every day offers you a decision. You can live by design or by default. You can react to life or you can create it. Choice is the architect of destiny. Now, most people don't choose consciously. They drift. They wake up, check their phones, scroll through other people's lives, and call it living. But drifting is the luxury of those who've accepted average. If you want a life of meaning, you must steer. The difference between a winner and a warrior isn't circumstances, it's decisions. One says, I'll start even if it's hard. The other says, I'll wait until it's easy. But life doesn't wait. The opportunity of a lifetime must be seized in the lifetime of the opportunity. Choice doesn't care about mood. Choice doesn't care about convenience. Choice only responds to command, and your mind is waiting for your command. So every morning, ask yourself, what kind of person am I becoming today? That question is the compass. It will pull you toward purpose and away from distraction. Because when you stop drifting, life starts shifting. The mind as a mirror. Your outer world will always reflect your inner world. It's a law older than time. If the mind is cluttered, the life will be chaotic. If the mind is disciplined, the life will become organized, ordered, clear. The marketplace doesn't reward need, it rewards value. And value comes from one thing, clarity of mind. So I tell people, don't chase success, build yourself. Don't ask, what do I need to get? Ask, who do I need to become? Because life is not happening to you, it's happening from you. The lazy man wants more money but resists more responsibility. The fearful man wants confidence but avoids challenge. The negative man wants joy but refuses gratitude. That's the mirror of life. It gives you not what you want, but what you are. So begin here. Clean the mirror. Remove the dust of resentment. Wipe off the fog of fear. Look yourself in the eye, not to judge, but to adjust. When you see clearly, you think clearly. And when you think clearly, you act powerfully. Because the mind is not your enemy, it's your greatest ally if you train it. Chapter 4. Belief, the engine of destiny. If the mind is the soil, then belief is the sun. Without belief, even the best ideas wither. Belief gives warmth, energy, and life to every thought you plant. Now people say, Jim, I'll believe it when I see it. But that's not how life works. The truth is, you'll see it when you believe it. Belief is the lens through which you see the world. If your lens is cloudy with doubt, you'll misread every opportunity. If your lens is clear with conviction, you'll see doors where others see walls. You must become a guardian of belief. Protect it, strengthen it, speak to it daily, because life will test it. People will doubt you, the world will shake you. And in those moments, belief is the only thing that stands between persistence and surrender. Belief whispers, you can. Fear shouts, you can't. The question is, which voice will you feed? Every achievement you admire, every fortune, every invention, every masterpiece began as a belief before it was ever a reality. So ask yourself today, what am I daring to believe about myself? Because the size of your belief determines the size of your life. Clarity, the compass of power. Belief without direction is like energy without purpose. You can have confidence, drive, enthusiasm, but if you don't know where you're going, you'll burn fuel and go nowhere. Clarity is the compass of achievement. Most people wander not because they're weak, but because they're unclear. They want success, but what kind? They want happiness, but what does it look like? Vague goals create vague results. Specific goals create specific results. Don't say, I want to do better. Say, I will double my income in 12 months. Don't say, I want to be healthy. Say, I will walk 5 miles every day and drop 20 pounds. Clarity transforms wish into plan, plan into action, action into achievement. And once you have clarity, the universe has a way of reorganizing itself to match your intent. Doors begin to open. People begin to appear, but only after you declare what you truly want. Write it down, speak it aloud, see it daily. Because a goal well defined is half achieved. Discipline, the bridge between desire and reality. Desire is the spark, but discipline is the fire. It's easy to want. Anyone can want. But few are willing to work when the excitement fades. Discipline means doing what's necessary whether you feel like it or not. It means choosing progress over comfort. It means acting on your commitments long after the emotion that created them has faded. You see, motivation gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. And that's the difference between the amateur and the master. Every champion has a schedule. Every failure has an excuse. The difference is discipline. You can't hire someone to do your push-ups for you. You can't outsource your own progress. Discipline is personal. It's private. And it's powerful. Each small act of discipline strengthens your mind. Each time you follow through, you build integrity with yourself. And the day will come when you no longer negotiate with weakness. You simply act. That's when success becomes automatic. That's when greatness begins. Persistence, the long road to greatness. Persistence is the twin brother of discipline. Discipline starts the race. Persistence finishes it. The road to greatness is not paved with applause. It's paved with resistance. It's the sleepless nights, the unseen hours, the seasons of drought when nothing seems to work. That's where most give up, right before the harvest. But not you, because you understand that growth hides in repetition, that mastery hides in monotony, that success hides behind persistence. The world belongs to those who refuse to quit. Every great achiever you admire walked through years of failure and kept walking. The difference between those who make it and those who don't is not talent, it's endurance. So when the voice of discouragement visits, and it will, greet it with calm confidence. Tell it, I'm not stopping. I've come too far to turn back now. Because the man who persists cannot lose. He either wins or he learns, and both move him forward. The habit of mastery. Mastery is not an event, it's a habit. You don't stumble into greatness. You train for it. You build it day by day, act by act, thought by thought. When you repeat the right actions long enough, they become instinct. You no longer have to force yourself. Excellence becomes your nature. And here's the secret. When your mind is trained to think like a master, even ordinary days become extraordinary, because every moment becomes a chance to practice excellence. You speak with purpose. You work with focus. You rest with intention. Everything counts. You become the kind of person success can trust. And when success can trust you, it stays the rising standard. So here's the call to action. Raise your standard. Raise it in your thoughts, your habits, your words, your discipline. Don't lower the target. Lengthen your stride. Because the purpose of the goal is not what you get. It's who you become in the pursuit. The world rewards those who outlast the excuse. The man who can keep his mind steady when storms rage, that's the man who becomes unstoppable. Train your mind and you train your life. Win the inner war and the outer world surrenders. Chapter 9. The Second Mountain. Every life has two mountains. The first mountain is achievement, the climb for success, status, possessions, comfort. Most people spend their entire lives scaling that one. They chase recognition. They chase applause. They chase things. But when they reach the top, they discover something they never expected. The summit feels empty. Because the first mountain is about what you get. The second mountain is about who you become. When you begin the climb of the second mountain, everything changes. You no longer measure success by the size of your house, but by the size of your heart. You no longer chase wealth for pleasure, but for purpose. You no longer seek to impress. You seek to impact. This second mountain is mastery, not just of your craft, but of yourself. And the view from there is peace. So don't stop at the first mountain. Use your achievements as stepping stones to a higher calling, a life rich in meaning, not just in trophies. Freedom, the highest reward. Most people think freedom means doing what you want, when you want. But that's not freedom, that's indulgence. True freedom is self-control. True freedom is the ability to command your mind, your emotions, your actions, in harmony with your highest values. Freedom is not found in the absence of discipline, but in the mastery of it. Think about it. The undisciplined man is not free. He is bound by cravings, impulses, fears. He is a prisoner of habit. But the disciplined man, though his days are structured, is free. He decides, he directs, he chooses. He acts from reason, not reaction. That is the highest liberty, the freedom to live on your own terms because your mind is your ally, not your enemy. So when you train your mind, you are not just creating success. You are reclaiming your freedom. You are saying, no more shall I be driven by the lower self. I will rise. I will govern. I will become the master of my fate. And in that declaration, you find real power, the quiet strength. Now there's a kind of power most never see, quiet strength. The world teaches loud power, dominance, control, ego. But quiet strength is different. It doesn't need to announce itself. It doesn't need approval. It simply is. Quiet strength is the man who does his work when no one's watching. The woman who keeps her word, even when it costs her comfort. The leader who listens more than he speaks. The achiever who remains humble in victory and gracious in defeat. You see, quiet strength is born of character, and character is the product of habit. When you train your mind, you build this inner fortitude. You learn to stand still when the crowd sways. You learn to walk steady when others run in panic. You become calm, centered, unshakable. That's real power. Not the power to control others, the power to control yourself. So cultivate quiet strength. Let your calm become contagious. Let your consistency become a sermon, and let your life speak louder than your words ever could. The fire of legacy. At some point, success must evolve into significance. You can earn all the money, achieve all the goals, collect every title. But if your life ends with only personal victories, you've missed the grander purpose. Legacy is what remains when you're no longer here to speak. And legacy is built not in speeches or awards, but in moments. Moments of kindness, moments of courage, moments when you gave more than you had to, moments when you helped someone believe in themselves again. You may never know whose life you've touched, but the ripples will travel further than you think. Every strong mind, every disciplined soul, every person who wins their inner battle leaves behind an invisible inheritance, because strength is contagious. Courage is contagious, and when you live as an example, you become a beacon, silently lighting the path for others who have yet to awaken. So as you rise, lift. As you achieve, teach. As you master, share. This is how greatness multiplies. The final test. There will come a day when your strength will be tested not by failure, but by success. Failure humbles us. Success tempts us. It tempts us to grow comfortable, to believe the work is done, to let the weeds return to the garden of the mind. But mastery is never final. It is maintained. The disciplined man knows this. He continues to learn, to refine, to evolve. He does not retire from growth. He reinvents himself. He does not rest on past victories. He builds new ones. So guard your mind even more carefully in times of success. For comfort is the silent thief of greatness. It whispers, "You've done enough." Don't listen, because the moment you stop improving, you begin declining. The great oak falls not because of a storm, but because it stopped drawing water long ago. Never stop drawing wisdom. Never stop feeding your fire, the master's peace. And then, one day, without warning, you'll notice something subtle has changed. You'll wake up, and the noise inside your mind will be gone. No more chaos, no more conflict, just stillness. You'll realize you have become your own teacher. You no longer need to chase peace because you carry it. You no longer need to prove anything because you've already earned it. That's the master's peace. The peace that comes not from avoiding struggle, but from transcending it. The peace that comes from knowing, I have trained my mind, and it has set me free. And that peace, my friend, is priceless. The return to the beginning. Now we return to where we started. The greatest battle you will ever fight is the one that takes place within your own mind. But here's the revelation. The battle never ends. It simply changes form. At first you fight for control. Then you fight for consistency. Finally, you fight for contribution. The journey is infinite because growth never stops. But take comfort in this truth. The very act of fighting that battle makes you alive. It keeps you sharp. It keeps you humble. And as long as you fight, as long as you rise, you are already winning. So guard your mind. Feed it daily. Challenge it. Stretch it. Renew it. Destroy weak habits before they destroy you. Because if you master your mind, you master your life. And if you master your life, you become unstoppable. That, my friend, is Jim Rohn's philosophy in its purest form. Simple, timeless, eternal. Discipline your thoughts. Direct your energy. Define your purpose. Develop your character. Deliver your gift. Do this, and the world will remember your name not for what you owned, but for who you became. Final reflection. So I leave you with this. You came into this world empty-handed. You will leave it the same way. But between those two moments lies your opportunity to build, to grow, to serve, to shape your mind into an instrument of purpose and power. Do not waste that chance. Do not delay your transformation. Begin today, right now, because the mind does not wait. It either expands or decays. And if you remember nothing else from this entire message, remember this one truth. As you train your mind, you train your destiny. The greatest battle is within, but so is the greatest victory. Now go win it.